Hello everyone, and welcome. It is 3 a.m., but that's no reason to not be up, not to go insane, not to watch some excellent StarCraft, because we have PartinG versus INnoVation, a best of 9 for the 200th anniversary, 200th showing of the Alpha Pro Series here, sponsored by Afrika TV and you all, because if you take a look at the chat, you can find out that you can contribute to this tournament. You can make sure that INnoVation and PartinG get even more funding than they're already getting for this tournament by using the Match Arena codes that are really showing at the top of the chat there. But all that being said, this is an exciting tournament. It's going to be a best of 9 between INnoVation and PartinG, two of the absolute best players in the scene. And you know, PartinG historically is one of the greatest PvTs. It historically has the greatest PvT in terms of win rate across the entirety of StarCraft, but to my memory, I don't believe he's played INnoVation all that recently. Now, sure, he beat Maru. Sure, he's lost to TY the last couple times, although he did beat TY in another Afrika TV tournament, the ITAX Cup, into the Alpha X tournament. What was that, about a month ago at this point? He was not getting whitewashed, but he's beaten he's beaten a lot of these top Terran players, but I don't really think we've seen him play INnoVation all that recently. That coupled with the fact that as of late we have seen a lot of Terran players really struggle in the mid and late game against what Protoss are doing, against that kind of charge lot Dark Templar style that Protoss have been doing, where they expand to a ton of bases and just flood Dark Templar and all the expansions and kill. And just slowly kill the Terran's economy, kill their bases, all these fun things. I'm excited to see what INnoVation, what PartinG are going to have going for us here. As again, it's going to be best of 9, which means that 2 maps will repeat theoretically. First map is Caster's Choice and Mage, who is the Chinese caster for this tournament. And I have decided on Death Aura for map number 1, or I guess really Mage decided that. But that's fine. But I'm glad to have you all with me in this slow descent into madness, because I'm not done after this tournament today. Oh no. Alpha X has also decided to run effectively a Code A for 8 players who almost qualified for the GSL players like DRG Ling, Coca, Percival. And that will be on their Trovo stream at around 7 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. So that's also going to be, which makes it, I believe, 8 p.m. KST Korean time. And I will be casting that one as well. So if you really want to watch my slow descent into madness this morning, well, we have this. It's going to be best of 9. From about 3 till 5 a.m.-ish Eastern time. And after that, well, we're going to go into, we're going to wait a couple hours. I'll go live on Trovo with still not enough sleep. And we will go from there. But that is not exactly germane to the topic at hand, which is INnoVation versus PartinG versus the 200th iteration of this tournament. It looks like at the moment we're just waiting for both players to come back. It looks like they're AFK. But once we get that, we are going to get all started. We're going to get all started there now. Gotta say before the starts, special thanks to Afrika for sponsoring this tournament. I believe the prize pool, prize pool for this one is fairly large. Alright, looks like INnoVation's back, PartinG is back, and we're about to start our countdown to game number 1. So just making sure that we're going to have that winner's interview available. But game number 1 will be on Death Aura. Now, again, when we talk about Death Aura for a minute, we'll talk about this a little more when we get into game. Death Aura, it's got a lot of airspace. It's good for the sort of Phoenix sort of air styles we see players go for. But you know, that doesn't mean that that's what INnoVation is going to go for. What PartinG is going to go for. We will figure it out because game number 1 is all loaded up. And let's get down in there, shall we? Alrighty then, here we go. Spawn in the upper left. In the blue for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it's PartinG. And in the bottom right, in the red, it's INnoVation for Kaizi Gaming. And man, it is great. It is absolutely incredible to see the kind of support we've been getting from the Chinese scene over the last couple years to really support the Korean scene in general. Although a couple of foreigners benefit from that as well. Between the Golden Team League, I believe that's still what it's called, but they did rename the individual tournaments that they run. SC Boys, incredible support of the scene, really carrying that one. But what that means, of course, is these top tier Korean players like PartinG, players like INnoVation, they're getting invited into these Chinese teams, which of course makes it more affordable for players, for them to keep playing, for them to keep dominating, allows them to justify spending just as much time as they do practicing and really improving at this game that we all know and love. So, massive shout out to them. And you know what? We should, as I'm talking about, oh yes, it's cool that we have these teams and all these things. Maybe I should talk about the game just a little, because PartinG has dropped a pylon very, very near to INnoVation's base here in this game number 1. And it's looking like this is maybe going to be a proxy Stargate. This is the earliest possible. Yeah, this is the closest possible proxy Stargate. Generally, you would see it somewhere here. But PartinG says, no, no, no. I'm going to drop it here because this is not proxy Oracle, anything like that. This is proxy Void Ray, and this will be scouted. PartinG says, "Oh no, you've seen me," and that's going to make life a little bit difficult. But as we saw in Chance versus Tasia last night, just because you scout it doesn't mean this one's going to get stopped. Although INnoVation has scouted this a good bit earlier than PartinG, and I'm surprised we don't see him targeting down the pylon. There we go. The pylon's going to get targeted down, but he's not really going to be able to prevent this from going down. All that matters now is whether he's going to be able to defend against it. So we do see that second gas on the way. We do see that bunker on the way. And already we're seeing a slightly improved hold here from INnoVation compared to what we saw with Tasia versus Chances. Well, of course, Tasia, he tried to bunker in the low ground and kill the Void Rays like that. But no, INnoVation already has that second gas on the way. Already has a bunker built on the high ground. And all of these things make it just a little bit easier for him to maybe affect this hold here. But we already have the Void Ray on the way. We do have the Adept on the way. And, well, the bunkers don't matter if there's no Marines out to deal with it. So we will have Marines going out 2x2 at the moment. But the Void Ray, for the moment, has primacy in this game. Is going to be able to keep targeting things down. There we have it. INnoVation says, look, it's not worth my time in this game. Yeah, it's not worth my time in this game number 1. I can't hold. My bunker's not the right spot. Let's go into game number 2. And that is, in fact, what is... Alright, so it looks like I'll be just added to a group call with that. Yeah, just not really worth my time in this hold. It's a best of 9. It's not worth maybe getting tilted, struggling over the fact that that's a really difficult hold on that map in particular. And I'm just not all that set up for it. I went Reaper Expand, and that's just kind of a kill build. My tea has gotten cold rather fast, and that's disappointing. Map number 2 will be on Submarine. So yes, map number 2 will be on Submarine, which I guess means wants to maybe go a little bit aggressive. This is game number 2, but as we've seen things shake out just a little, it does feel like Submarine is becoming maybe a little bit of a Terran map. Now, the argument, of course, is that it's not really a Terran map, it's not really a Protoss map, it's not really a Zerg map, it's an aggressive map. And any player that is... And any player that that thrives on aggressive builds, on cheeses, things like that, is going to be advantaged here, regardless of whether it's a Terran, it's a Protoss, it's a Zerg. Theoretically. Man, I wish I knew Korean, because PartinG INnoVation just bantering back and forth in the lobby at this moment. Apparently INnoVation, his response to what he saw in the game #1 was, is this a game? Is this a real game? Or is this what we're doing today? Alright. So we have the go from both players, and we're about ready to get into game #2. Again, it's going to be on Submarine. And with PartinG, with that 1-0 lead, INnoVation not even really trying to hold the Void Ray all that much. Void Ray gets into his mineral land, along with an Adept, and he says, you know what, nope, we're going to game #2. It's a best of 9. It doesn't really one map. You got to win 5. It doesn't really matter. One map here or there doesn't really matter here. I'm confident enough in my ability to win 5 out of 9 on this map pool, on these maps thus far. Alright, we have a game #2. Let's get into it. And here we are in the upper left. In the red for Kaizi Gaming, it's INnoVation. And in the bottom right, in the blue for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, we have PartinG. Now the question is what kind of insane, aggressive shenanigans are we going to get on this game #2, or are we going to get none at all? Are both players going to say, you know what, you expect me to go insane. You expect me to be super aggressive, so what is the cheese? You know, when you have a cheesy player, the cheesiest thing, and they're known to be cheesy, say a Haas, for example, the cheesiest possible thing they can go for is a macro play, but that's not what's going to happen in this game, as we had PartinG setting a probe on the map, but man, that is second in gas before Cybercore here, so PartinG, well, he's going to do, I don't know what he's going to do yet, but he's going to do something here in this game #2. Going to get aggressive once again. So apparently PartinG was practicing that build on ladder here as well. And PartinG, well, he's not even going to go into scout for the moment. He's going to drop this here. And the last time I saw this, this location, this was a Max Packs build. That being said, what's our gas can out? We will have gas in time once again for a proxy Void Ray here in this game #2. Also, of course, room for proxy robo, things like that. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. But INnoVation, he's going to send the SCV in. He's going to see the gas timing. He's going to see how much gas is being mined. There we go. We do see, yep, it's proxy Void Ray once again. PartinG's just saying, you know what, this build on most of the maps in the pool at the moment, this build is just impossible to stop. This build is too difficult for players to deal with, for Terran players to deal with. So once again, I'm going to do it to you. And I'm assuming that's what PartinG is saying is here. Oh, you scouted me. Oh no. This time, of course, it looks like INnoVation is going to go with a slightly different hold. He's going to drop a factory down behind his mineral line, so it's not going to be able to be targeted down by any sort of Void Ray. And there we do. We see Marines being built out one at a time. No reactor this time. And INnoVation with the bunker at his natural, not on the high ground. So I guess that what this means, it means that it's going to be difficult for there to be the shield battery creep in that we saw. Who was this? Was it Zed? Well, for Zest versus Teja, I believe, in the GSL last night as well, because we saw something like that as well. And this time, the Adept is going to get targeted down, as INnoVation did a great job of building more and more Marines. So the ground army of PartinG is really not going to be as oppressive as it was in that first game, as we do have a second Adept on the way now, but one Adept is not nearly as nice as 2. There we go. Okay, so we do have a missile turret on the way. That first one will be killed, but that first one existing will give time for the second one to go up here. And that's in the main base in the mineral line. So already looks like INnoVation really making the key adjustments he needs here in this game #1 to make sure he just gets a better result than we'd looked for previously. Although Void Ray, they're going to target down the supply depots, which, well, that's going to make, eventually it's going to supply block Inno here. And that is, it's you know, you don't want to be supply blocking. So INnoVation, Dow is going to be out of 33 out of 30. But now that Marines, they're going to go in, try to get them, see if we can see what they can get done. But now with 2 Void Rays here, this is going to be a little bit more difficult. And, well, Missile Turret's going to go down once again. So we do have a Cyclone lock on at this point, but you know, it's only 1 Cyclone to 2 Void Rays, and the shield batteries here mean this really is not going to survive all that easily. And now with the Void Rays getting on top of this Cyclone, they're going to try to just target it down. And, well, the Cyclones are going to go down, but at what cost here? Is the Void Rays both take significant damage, but they're going to be able to get outside of the range of the Marines here, and now they're going to get around, and we do have Void Rays coming out 1 by 1 at this point. But already it just feels better for INnoVation. INnoVation, well, he's going to get on top of the Void Ray now. Maybe take care of things. Now with 3 Void Rays out, it feels like the Marines, they found themselves out of position. Although this looks more like a dedicated sacrifice, run by as INnoVation. Well, he's probably going to go into the main base of PartinG, see what can get done. But this is just buying time for missile turrets to go up, for there to be more Cyclones, for the bunkers to get done. Okay, so the Void Rays are going to just burst down that bunker or that missile turret immediately, and the bunker's not going to get up. The bunker is going to die before anything gets into it. And now with the Marines are going to get targeted down. So more and more shield missile turrets going to go down. And now we do have the Reaper. We have the couple Marines running into the main base of PartinG here. And now with the lack of anything, he's going to force a recall on one of the Void Rays. However, there's still 3 Void Rays here, and really, INnoVation has not been able to affect a really nice substantive hold here. Sure, the 1 Cyclone is nice, but Cyclones are, they're getting jumped upon and killed pretty quickly here, even with Magfield, and Magfield Accelerator is not quite done yet. But it does feel like this rush from PartinG is timing out just slightly. Really, even as PartinG, he's nice. Nicely up on Army Supply, up on Economy here. Well, actually really not up on Economy, but nicely up on Army Supply. But Void Ray, once again, they're going to jump in. They're going to kill another Cyclone. And as long as the second missile turret just fails to get up here, it really feels like, well, PartinG still has a chance in this game. Because now we do see a ground army from PartinG here moving in as, well, with this. The Stalker, more than anything, the Stalker is eating Cyclone shots here, which is rather useful as Magfield Accelerator is now done, which means these Cyclones do a whole lot more damage. So now the Voiders, once again, they're going to go on top of things. They're going to bust these missile turrets on the way down. And, well, that's nice, but that is 1 Void Ray that is going down in exchange here. Now with 2 Cyclones here, it's a lot more difficult for PartinG to get on top of things. But now PartinG's really just dumping on top of these Cyclones, doing as best as he can. But another Void Ray will go down. But now with the ground army here, now PartinG can really just start shelling away at this missile turret. But the Cyclone lock-ons are getting really nice. Now with just about as many Cyclones as Void Rays, this may be the tipping point here, but not exactly. As more and more Cyclones, they just get targeted down and just immediately die. It doesn't matter whether there's a repair or not. And PartinG, he's doing a great job at really shelling away, picking away at the SCV count of INnoVation here. Although INnoVation similarly doing a great job just replenishing whatever SCV losses he takes. But now with more and more Stalkers, this feels like really PartinG, maybe what he wasn't able to do in the air, he is able to do on the ground here. As INnoVation much more confident in his hold here in this game number 2, he's actually trying to make this hold. As Darthor, he said, you know what, nope, we're going to go to game number 2. And this is just a lot of missile turrets at this point. So it feels like the time of the Void Rays is maybe done. That being said, though, these Cyclones, these are just getting targeted down. And now it seems to be where the tipping point, as the Void Rays, they're just going to jump on top of all the Cyclones. The Cyclones are dead, and sure, there are a bunch of missile turrets, but that doesn't really matter as the Void Ray has found his position behind the mineral line. And, well, the Stalker's there. It's going to be game, and PartinG going up 2-0 in this best of 9. All right. INnoVation going for the far better hold there. But even that build, or even that change, that evolution where he goes double factory, double tech lab, just massing Cyclones, which you'd think would work, and just mass missile turrets, seems like a good idea. But apparently, when PartinG's at the command of these Void Rays, that doesn't really matter. As once again, Submarine proving too much for INnoVation to hold here. As we're starting to see some frustration as the question mark GGs go out. And this may be a short series. As much as I want to see, INnoVation just flooding the lobby with question mark after question mark here. Doesn't appear that he thinks that this is the most favorable map. No, the most favorable strat here. But again, we're gonna wait and see, as this just may be PartinG's flavor of the month. I mean, remember, he beat Maru in a best of 7 just playing one build, effectively, and Maru really couldn't hang. So this may not be a wow, this is so imbalanced and there's nothing the Terran player can do. This may be that PartinG's just found a build that he really likes against Terran, and PartinG's ability to execute in this game says, you know what, even if this is holdable against other players, my micro is good enough, my game sense is good enough, my way of playing this build in particular is good enough that I don't think that you can hold it, even if there is something that can happen. But we are going to find out as we are into game number 3. So let's get into it, shall we? And here we are in the bottom left, in the blue, down 2-0 off the same build. It's INnoVation. And in the upper right, in the red, we have PartinG. And PartinG, saying, huh, if it ain't broke, why fix it? As he goes for that proxy Void Ray build 2 games in a row. Now, question, of course, is whether he's going to do it in the game number 3. Now, this map once again has a fairly large ramp that he can take advantage of here to really go and try to put it to him. Plenty of places that shield batteries can go onto. And actually, there's a relatively common shield battery cannon rush build against Zerg on this map that abuses the high ground, low ground here as well, because you can kind of really easily tuck the shield batteries in there. And it's rather difficult to defend. So the question is, what is PartinG going to go here? It doesn't. Let's see, we don't see that second gas all of a sudden. So it looks like PartinG is going to go for maybe a different build in this game number 3. He says, you know what, INnoVation? I think I have tortured you enough with this build. I'm going to make life a rather difficult, maybe just a little bit more difficult for you here in this game number 2. Or maybe not necessarily more difficult. We're going to give you something different. Because I think, that hole, you were a little bit closer to a hole there in game 2. Let's see what you can do in a standard macro game. So now we do see PartinG going with the Cybercore expand here. He says, you know what, we're going to go into a little bit more of a mid-game. Whether it's holdable or not, I don't really know. However, it's something. And this may just be a fake Nexus here after all, as PartinG, well, he's got a proxy on the map. This feels like more of a standard proxy Stargate position here as well. It's not the closest possible, but this feels more like maybe a proxy Oracle. Although I suppose this could be some sort of proxy robotics bay, proxy robo, but nah, it's going to be a Stargate, and we're going to see an Oracle coming out of here. But that's a weird route for the probe to be taking. Unfortunately, INnoVation did not really notice with his Reaper. He's going to the bottom right. He says, you know what, I really want to make sure that this is not this proxy Void Ray shenanigans we saw in game number 1. So we do see the Adept move across the map now. Really not going to be able to get in there. And of course, it's 3 Adept shots to kill a Marine, so it's really not going to be able to get anything done. Not timed out precisely to make sure that the Adept is able to cancel delay the command center here. But now the Reaper is going to go back in once again, and the question is, did the Reaper see? The Reaper did not see this proxy Stargate going in. Now with the Oracle on the way, really though, Oracle shouldn't get a ton done. Sure, it's proxied, which makes it's going to hit there a little bit sooner, but Terrans have gotten really good at this point at having things in the mineral line, at having enough units to really defend, and especially with INnoVation going for this 3 racks all in with Stim, which very well just made me a reaction to, yeah, I don't really want to deal with things. That's going to be a great situation for him here, as there's a lot of bio, and on the one hand, it's nice. PartinG's going to see this. He's going to see the 3 racks. He's going to say, oh, that is a lot of bio you got here, my dude. that is a little bit scary. On the flip side, this is not all that great for him, as oracles, well, sure, they're good. They do extra damage against light units. And that's nice. But oracle's trying to hold a 3-Rex as PartinG going up to a 3rd base. He says, you know what? Not only do I think I can hold this with what I have, I'm going to take a 3rd behind this. And PartinG, I don't feel like that's the build here. I'm just going to go out and say, I'm going to go on a limb and saying your opponent is going all in off of 2 bases. All right? That's the build. If this is a 3-1-1, I don't think we're going to see a starport. But anyway, if your opponent's going all in with this, the build is not to drop a 3rd. The build is not to drop a 3rd PartinG, but PartinG says, you know what? I think I'm fine here. This is my response, and I'm just going to get glaives behind this, and that's fair. You know, glaives are pretty good against Marines, but it looks like we are going to get, well, there's going to be a reactor on here. Okay, this is just going to be for the reactor starport. So this is just going to be an incredibly committed all-in here. And PartinG says, you know what, the minute you move out, I'm just going to warp in a couple of depths. I'm just going to go kill all your economy. So this build is rather interesting from INnoVation. I guess INnoVation says, you know what, I've been scouted. Maybe not. I'm not going to be as committed as previously thought. But I'm just going to go into this. Is just going to be a different route into the mid game for me here. Generally, you see a 1-1-1 into a couple extra barracks when you see kind of this 3-1-1 opening here. But INnoVation, having been scouted, says, you know what, I'm just going to move my 3-1-1 into a macro game. I'm going to get my 4th gas, and I'm just going to move into 3-base play eventually. Now, this is perhaps INnoVation showing a little bit too much respect for his Protoss opponent here. Maybe just a little. But now we do see him moving across the map here. We do have combat shields is going to be done. Concussive shell is going to be done here. +1 is going to be done here. And this is an incredibly powerful attack from INnoVation. Really is probably going to be able to take out the 3rd here. But that is a lot of shield batteries on the way. There is 1 just about done, and 2 will be done eventually. As now, a significant part of the army of PartinG is going to be able to get into the natural. It's actually going to be forced. Recall is going to be forced here. But now with resonating glaives, this army from PartinG is actually really powerful. As this glaives do an incredible job killing pretty much everything that PartinG has. And meanwhile, there are just 2 adepts left in the natural here of INnoVation, killing off 9 workers. So now PartinG up double 20 workers here. And sure, he's going to lose his shield battery, but that doesn't really matter all that much, as we do have Blink on the way. We do have a robo facility on the way here, and it really feels like PartinG, he's in a great situation to hold this. Although down 20 army supply, maybe not the best situation, especially as he finds himself supply blocked. But now there are a bunch of gates on the way, which is going to make some excellent room for here to warp in. But he says, you know what, I'm confident with my hold here. At my 3rd base, I'm just going to warp in a crap ton of adepts into your base here. But yeah, I don't care how confident you are, PartinG. This is a lot of bio. There's +1. There is stim. There's combat shield. There is combat shield. And there's concussive shell. And all those things says, really, that's not enough to hold. But meanwhile, this is a large amount of adepts. So they're just in the natural here. PartinG, INnoVation on 1 base. And really the economy here. PartinG taking a massive advantage here. Even as he does go and kill the entire mineral line and kill the base of our Terran player. And PartinG, not really sure what he's saying here, but says, base trade? Is that what he's saying? But anyway, the adepts now, they're going to go into the main base, and INnoVation with the door down says, you know what, I don't really care what happens in this game. But that is a massive, absolutely disgustingly big stasis fort, as more and more adepts are going to be warped in. So the main army of INnoVation will most likely get targeted down. Okay, not quite. I was going to say most likely get targeted down before the bio comes back once again. But now with a Colossus out, this is looking maybe a little bit better. The 2nd stasis ward will not nearly be as nice. But really all PartinG has to do is hold. He has to make sure he doesn't die here. But there's a lot of Widow Mines, and these Widow Mines are just going to get on top of everything. They're going to explode. But with these force fields here, it's not all that bad. I'm going to say it. So the Widow Mines, they're going to go off on the Oracles. And now with our supply just being just about what it is, or just about even here, and PartinG, really, he's doing a great job microing everything back. And this feels like a hold. As INnoVation, what kind of income does he have? Not really. Not really anything here. And as long as PartinG is going to be able to clear off the armies that's his doorstep, which of course is a big ask, well, he's going to be able to do it here. As the recall is going to be forced once again, and INnoVation is just going to drop on top of the Colossus. Colossus is going to go down, but really, the Colossus allowed for the hold. INnoVation is going to say, GG PartinG, you're too good for me in game number 3. And I need to remember to stop talking because this scene transition, unlike what I use on my own stream, has sound. But yeah, INnoVation says, you know, I'm going to put all my SCVs in the upper left, I guess to allow for some sort of base trade. But what that means, of course, is they're in the upper left, they're not mining. Not that they would have been allowed to mine anyways, as 9 adepts in the mineral line of Inno says, no, you don't get to mine at all. Alright, and we're going to have, what is that, game number 4? It's going to be on Untitled Empire. And PartinG really just looking incredibly strong in this matchup, or at least particularly against INnoVation here. Saying, you know what, when I cheese, you don't win. When you cheese, although really that was more of a timing attack than a cheese here. I thought we were going to go just with really early aggression, no factory, no starport, but INnoVation upon being scouted says, I'm going to move into the mid game. Anyways, what that means is INnoVation going for timing hacks, going for all these sorts of things, and whatever he's been throwing at PartinG, or whatever he's been throwing at PartinG is not enough. Alright, so what is this? Game number 4 will be on Eternal Empire. And once again, the question is, it's really a feeling like the question's not, you know, are we going to go to 9 games at this point? Really, it's feeling like the question is INnoVation going to take a map? So, also, I apologize. 1 second. My stream may stutter for half a second. I need to turn off my Wi-Fi card. I forgot that was on. It's leading to some stream instability. A little. So the standard max packs build, when you think of it, right, is you see you get 2 zealots and you pool 2 zealots. All right, so now we do have the Stalker all the way in with only two Marines here. Actually, this is PartinG, you dog. So he's going to drop a couple shield batteries here. And he's going to be able to delay the bunker for the time being. But now there are 4 Marines in this bunker. And as I was saying, well, it's like, oh man, he's going Tech Lab immediately. But actually, this appears to be the good play, not a mistake here. As well, with it means Marines are going to be able to come out 2 by 2 in time, and they're going to be able to fill the bunker, which is rather important here, as they're going to make it rather difficult for these Stalkers to get in. But now with these shield batteries here, this is a much more committed version of this attack than one would normally expect. And now this is a almost full eBay here in the natural of PartinG. So PartinG really not going to get any sort of natural here done for the time being, and it looks like PartinG going into Twilight Council behind this. That's rather interesting. Going to be interesting to see what he wants from here, but now that is just a lot of Marines here. Going to dive on top of things, but the shield batteries, they're full, so that means the large amount of Marines that existed, well, large amount of Marines are going to have to back up, and they're going to lose some Marines in exchange. And PartinG is just going to make sure that INnoVation is never really going to mine here. Actually, going to be able to target down that SCV as well. And PartinG, you know, it's going to be a while for he loses these Stalkers because, well, it's PartinG micro, right? So more and more Stalkers are going to continue to be rallied in here. And we're going to have Blink behind this. And PartinG says, you know what, if I can't take a natural, I'm just going to take my 3rd as my natural. That's fine. That's dandy. That's what I'm going to go for here. And now we see more and more Stalkers be warped in. And so behind this, what do we see INnoVation going for here? Now we have a tank, which means these Stalkers are really not going to be able to get a whole lot done. Stalkers that are going to be warped in at the gateway, they're not going to be able to get a whole lot done. And honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised to see a recall here with these Stalkers eventually once Terran tries to really take that natural, once again tries to move out, re-sieges the tank, all these fun things. But this is going to be Blink beyond this, and this is 2-gate blink. I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see a 3rd gate go all the way down, but I feel like PartinG's just going to expand the height behind this. It says, this is a tempo build. And now, but he's just really just going to lose all of his stalkers. Sure, 1 tank's going to go down. That's nice, but 1 tank for 7 stalkers. I don't think that's the play here, and it really looks like PartinG. Okay, there we go. You say PartinG is going to lose this game, and INnoVation is going to take his first map of the series. And yeah, INnoVation does. And now it is a series now. INnoVation with his first map, 3-1. INnovate or 3-1 PartinG. Alright, so now it is going to be PartinG's map for the first map pick in this series. Thank you, Mage. I was trying to make the map, and it just was not loading properly, so. Yeah, I took it. Ice and Chrome was not showing as a map. There we go. Now it is. Alright, so now we're just waiting. Alright. That took forever for Ice and Chrome, or for the lobby to actually load up. But it's going to be Ice and Chrome for map number 5. Once again, it's PartinG versus INnoVation. If you're just joining us, I mean, you can see by the stream title, it's PartinG versus INnoVation. You can see by the banner, it's PartinG versus INnoVation. But it bears mentioning that this is PartinG versus INnoVation. Wow, I say that a bunch more times, right? And it's the 200th running of this this Alpha Pro Series. Series of tournaments. It's a best of 9, and PartinG is up 3-1 thus far. So players are loaded in to this map number 5. Let's introduce them, shall we? And you're responding the bottom left and the blue, still with a mountain to climb. It's INnoVation. And in the upper right, in the red, up 3-1, it's PartinG. Now PartinG, with only 2 games to go for him to really take this series, to win his $150 plus whatever you decide to contribute in Matcherino. And while this game gets started, I should point out that sure, it's about a $200 prize pool. That's great. You know, player A gets the winning player gets 150, loser player gets 50, but it can be higher. there's a match arena page that is pinned at the top of chat right now. And should you decide to use it, you can actually contribute 50 cents to the prize pool without doing anything whatsoever. Just by using the code, I believe it's let me read that. Actually, it's not there. All right. Anyway, yeah, you can use the Matrino code once it gets pinned once again, and yeah, you can contribute to 50 cents. Of course, you can contribute your own hard-earned money as well, but that's not necessary here. As PartinG says, you know what? I have won 2 games with this build. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again, and this time with Vim and Vigor and Gusto. But it feels like INnoVation. There we go. We do have that. It's gonna be APS Elite 920. Is going to be the code that is that's going to be used that you can be used there to add 50 cents to the prize pool. And of course, well, it's it's only 50 cents. Well, if 200 people add 50 cents, that's an extra $100. Well, that is until the codes run out, of course. But now INnoVation, he's prepared. He says, you know what? You did this game. You've done this 2 games already. Your one base, you could be anything, but I see the double gas. I know what this build is. I know what you're up to. You slide dog. But actually, it's nice here because PartinG's going to be able to get across in time with that Adept, which means the command center is going to be delayed. Which, of course, means there's less SCV production. And I think the Adept should be able to get out here. Yeah, Adept's not going to be quite fast enough. And INnoVation going for his own aggressive build here. With he's going for that 3-1-1 he went for previously, which on the one hand, it's probably nice because it means a lot of Marines are coming out. I'm not sure you want to commit to +1. I don't think, with how hard this is and how much of a commitment you need to hold it, I don't think +1 is exactly the hold here. As now we do have PartinG targeting on those supply depots once again. Going to just try to supply block INnoVation here. And then, of course, now he's going to get the reactor as well, which means these Marines that are going to come out 2 by 2, now they're only going to come out 1 by 1, and that just is going to make life, well, just eminently more easy here for our Protoss player, as he really tries to stick it to INnoVation in this game number 5. Says, you know what, this build is broken, and this build is unholdable. Let me show you why. And as I say that about +1, well, +1 is going to be done rather soon, as is Combat Shield. So there's definitely is an opportunity here for maybe INnoVation just use his massive bio advantage here to get something done. But now with the Marines, they're going to try to get on top of these Void Rays. But the Void Rays, they have a lot of dead airspace to deal with. And, they're trying to get on top of the Void Rays. But really, it's the Void Rays getting on top of them. As now they have the Void Rays finding the mineral line. They're really going to just be able to get a ton and ton and ton of damage here. And if they ever die, if they ever take damage, they can just run back and make use of those shield batteries. And sure, +1 is nice, but not if you don't have the Marines to do it. And PartinG's going to take game number 5. 1 game away from him from taking the series now. All right. So, INnoVation has map pick once again, and this is perhaps our last game of the series. Now, when you think of PartinG, when you think of INnoVation, you say, yeah, man, this is going to be exciting. This is going to be a great game. Hopefully, we're going to go to 9. This is, in fact, this is going to be a good time. But, man, PartinG just really taking it to him here. He's not even going to that late game that we see Terrans struggle with so much, right? We're not seeing those charge lot blink DT things that make see Terrans really just struggle with it. It's Void Rays, it's more and more and more Void Rays, as really we're seeing the impact of this patch that was supposed to help PvZ all that much, really just making this proxy Void Ray shenanigans that much more viable. As Void Rays, they're now faster and they're cheaper, and these two things make this rush that much more viable. And the question is whether INnoVation is really going to be able to find a hold here. He's tried some different builds. He got the closest on Submarine with that double cyclone thing, but even that he couldn't do it. And of course, in this most recent game, he was going for that 3-1-1 type of build, and that just really was not enough. So now we have game number 6, and again, this is perhaps the last match of this show match, which it would be rather sad. I would like to see more INnoVation parting. Hate to see the broadcast go for only 45 minutes, although I guess that's good for my sanity, for my sleep schedule here. It means I can get a couple more hours of shut-eye before I'm casting at 7. But you know, that's not great for the tournament. I'd rather see a full 9 games. As you know, we have our game number 6. It's loaded in, and let's see what these players have in store for us. All right, then here we go. And spawning in the upper right, in the blue, his life on the line here. It's INnoVation. And in the bottom left, in the red, on match point with 3 games to give, it's PartinG. All right, generally when we talk about having 3 games to give or 4 games to give in a best of X, you say, oh, they're probably gonna cheese now, right? They're gonna throw some jank build in. You say, okay, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be dandy. Well, that being said, PartinG has thrown a cheese into all but one of these games. He said, you know what? I'm just going to kill you with something zany. Really, in every game but the Ice and Chrome one. No, sorry, the Everdream one. And in doing so, well, the weird game would be an expand build here, but PartinG, once again, going for the double gas before Cybercore, which gives him enough juice to really proxy most likely a Void Ray once. Oh, okay, so this is going to be a different proxy once again. Here, as this is going to be, if this is proxy Void Ray, this is going to be proxy Void Ray far away from the Terran's base. So generally, if you get to see a proxy Void Ray here on this map, you'd expect to see, you know, the pylons going down here, etc., etc. But no, PartinG says, you know what? I think this is just going to be maybe a proxy. Yeah, proxy Stargate, but this is an Oracle positioning, not a Void Ray positioning here. In INnoVation, well, he sees things, says, you know what? Okay, I see what you're up to. I see that there is no natural, so I'm going to eBay. I'm not going to eBay block. He did that once, didn't work. And now the question is, what is PartinG follow up here? So this is proxy Oracle, most likely, and we do have the probe just sitting on the line of sight blocker to see what happens here. In INnoVation, while alarm bells are going off in his head, he says, oh no, I'm getting proxied once again. I gotta send my Reaper all over the place. And that's gonna, of course, give time. Step's gonna be on the high ground, but he's not going to intercept the Reaper here. And this is gonna be proxy Void Ray. Once again, it's just gonna be from a different perspective. But now the Reaper is gonna get on top of this probe, and that is, well, this is more of a hold than INnoVation could have ever hoped for here. And then we do have the bunker in the wall, and this is going to be one-on-one. We're going to see Cyclones here, and this really does feel like INnoVation's best possible opportunity here to make this hold. We do have a second Adept on the way. We do have another probe on the way here, and this is going to really allow for finally this to get started. But we're not going to see shield batteries. We're not going to see them building energy nearly as fast as we saw in the game, in the many games prior. And now there's going to be a missile turret in the mineral line as well, and this really doesn't. This feels like it's going to be a whole hell of a lot harder here for PartinG to get things done. But that being said, this build is still broken and disgusting, as we've discovered in previous games. So even with INnoVation maybe getting that great setup here, well, maybe PartinG's going to win anyways, as we do see the second Void Ray on the way now. And now with the Cyclone out, though, and PartinG really struggling to get that supply block out, that seems to be so key to this rush. Well, it feels like INnoVation really is in a great situation here to get something done. But now we see the double Void Rays. They're going to pop their overcharge, and probably going to be able to, yeah, they're going to be able to get that supply depot despite the Cyclone lock on. But what that does mean is, well, there is a lot that ate an entire shield battery's worth of energy that he's going to have to get back. And where's the probe? Where did that probe go? Okay, we lost the second probe, actually. It looks like it was killed and locked on. So now the shield batteries that are being built here, well, they're not really being built as much of there is now room for the Adept to get in, but there's only one Adept. Second Adept now on the way. And it feels like PartinG is stalling out just a little, but we do see a second gateway on the way now. Warp Gate is just about done. We're going to have a blink follow-up here. PartinG says, you know what? You have seen you've seen one version of this build, but you have not seen all of them, as I'm going to kill you with something else, but I'm not sure Blink Stalkers are really the build here. As Cyclone with Lock-On, I feel like they just absolutely shred Stalkers as you blink out without maybe enough. But maybe with the shield batteries, maybe with a couple more shield batteries on the way. Maybe that's enough. But now this Cyclone Lock-On is nice, and well, first Void Ray is gonna just about go down. Lock-On's gonna go kill more of these shield batteries, and PartinG says, "Hey, you can actually hold it now. Good job, dude." As we do see, this is kind of turning into an expand build. As PartinG with his natural on the way here, but I gotta wonder, INnoVation's been up on economy for so long that maybe that's enough. But now we do have the Cyclones. They're gonna move out. They're in fact going to move out of the base, and that is maybe room for PartinG to jump on things, but not quite here. As PartinG has a scary army, don't get me wrong, in the front of this base, and maybe the Terran army moving to the natural has provided PartinG with enough room to get something done here with his Stalkers, with Blink, with Void Rays. But the INnoVation's doing his scans. Well, this is he knows what's up. He sees the Stalkers, but maybe he doesn't see Blink. And there is maybe room here for PartinG to maybe Blink on top, but he's down on army supply. But now with the Adepts going in, PartinG says, you know what? This is my time, now or never. I'm gonna be at least gonna be able to get this bunker. But this is there's one lock-on per unit here almost in the Terran army. But now, okay, now there's time for PartinG to maybe Blink on top, but he's just gonna try to target things down. But everything is just going to die here, and it feels like INnoVation, for the first time this series, has found an effective way to make a hold. And the effective way to make a hold, of course, is just kill the probes. It's not kill the battery, it's not do anything else, it's kill the probes, make it so nothing goes down, and then you kill everything once and for all. Is really, without the shield batteries, the Void Rays are useless. Now INnoVation on top of things. So she's really going to be able to march on top of the map here, or march on the other side of the map and kill everything, although with the chatter we see here from PartinG, I wouldn't be surprised to see PartinG tap out. And there we have it, GG. INnoVation beating the build. It's not unbeatable. Terrans in chat, it's not unbeatable. You can do something with it. You can beat it on ladder if you're just as good as INnoVation. As we're going to game number 7. And that's exciting. INnoVation, not quite dead in the water, says, you know what? If I get the probe, if I prevent those shield batteries from going up at the time they want to do it, then, well, it's going to be an excellent time. We're going to actually, if you don't have the shield batteries, you can't heal the Void Rays. And if you can't heal the Void Rays, well, that rush is not nearly as nice. So game 7 will be on Golden Wall. And the question now, does PartinG say, you know what? I've won with this build 3 times. I've lost with it once. I have a bunch of games to give. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to do it again. Or is he going to go throw some other shenanigans out into the map? I don't know. That's for the players to know and for us to find out. But game 7 will be on Golden Wall. It is the last map available in the pool. And I'm wondering, it almost feels like we maybe have the makings of an INnoVation comeback here. As sure, he's down 4-2. He still has an uphill climb. He's gonna have to win. He's gonna have to win every game from here on out. But he held the one build that was giving him so much trouble, and maybe he's gonna force PartinG to innovate here. PartinG's gonna be forced to innovate against INnoVation to show something new, show something that he has not yet shown us on this map. Number 7 on this game, number 7. But let's see what the players have in store for us. Because Gold Wall is already loaded up. Alright, in the bottom right, in the red, on match point, once again, it's PartinG. And in the bottom left, in the blue, still with an uphill road, it's INnoVation. Alright, so it looks like PartinG here. He says, you know, oh, no, never mind, that's not where that pylon was. That's not where I thought that pylon was. Anyway, so PartinG looks like he wants to block the Reaper Cliff, which means that we're probably going to see more of an expand build here coming from PartinG in this game number 5, which is interesting. Yeah, okay, so on the one hand, you think maybe there's an opportunity here for him to proxy Void Rays on the bottom half of the natural, or bottom half of the map, but I guess maybe it takes a little too long to mine through to be able to make that happen. As we do see a Gate Scout coming out from here from PartinG, and of course, it's never too crazy to take a look at things. You say, hey, look, PartinG, are you going to proxy something? But this really does feel more like a scout build here, as he gets everything set on up. I think we're going to just see a gate expand here, and maybe see the type of game we saw on Everdream in what was game number 5? No, I think it was the game number 3. Anyway, so the probe is going to get in the main base, and, you know, well, it looks like he's going for a Reaper expand once again. He's probably going to try to fend that off, prevent the expand for as long as he can, but with the 2 SCVs here, they've already done a decent amount of damage. Probe's not going to be able to survive here for too much longer. Yeah, Probe's going to have to give up now. Going to have to go home. But this is just a gate expand here coming from PartinG. INnoVation is going to scout it. Probably breathe a sigh of relief. It says, you know what? Wow, you're actually taking a Nexus at a normal time? You're not going to drop a Void Ray on me? Well, okay, INnoVation. There's still an opportunity for him here for that Void Ray to get dropped. PartinG doing a good job hiding his probe. I got to imagine this is for a rescout. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't think we're going to see any sort of proxy shenanigans here in this position on this map. Not quite, as the Reaper's going to go in. Try to see what he can get done. But with the Adept here, well, really not going to be able to get a whole lot. Well, the Reaper Cliff is, well, it's blocked off. Although not the entirety of the Reaper Cliff. But the nice thing about this type of wall is, sure, it's not walling everything off, but it just denies the different opportunities there for the Reaper to be able to get in. Actually, so the SCV, I guess this was the probe just checking that there was no gold base here for INnoVation, but now the SCV just sitting, or the probe just sitting on the map, trying to see what he can see. And PartinG going for, I gotta assume his blink build that he has shown to great effect here previously. And INnoVation is gonna scout the Twilight, so he knows what the potentialities are here. He knows this could be a Void Ray. He knows he knows this could be Dark Templar. It could be Blink. Knowing PartinG, this is most likely Blink, although it looks like we're going to see 2-gate Blink. Okay, never mind. No, I'm sorry. That's not quite true. You throw the gates down prior. Okay, but this is going to be Dark Templar here. This is not going to be Blink. And we don't have any sort of tech lab on the way here. We don't see any eBay on the way here for PartinG. And this is going to be a more committed Dark Templar build here, as we do see a gate proxied. And this is a... Well, this is a what am I drop here coming from INnoVation, which is going to be nice theoretically. There's not a lot on the map here for PartinG, only 2 stalkers, but I would expect to see him probably get a third in a second here. And this is going to be an expand build here from PartinG. So he wants to take the pocket third, as he's already starting to mine that out. As we do see the 2 Widow Mine, or the 3 Widow Mines in the medevac there, pretty dang fast. As we do see a couple more barracks on the way. 3-1-1 on top of this, and there will be a Raven after this Widow Mine drop. I think, yeah, okay, so this is double tech lab. There will be a Raven behind this. So this, the first DT Warpin should maybe get something done, but after that, it should be quelled with extreme prejudice here, as there's an eBay on the way as well. And well, scans. There should be 2 scans by the time these Dark Templar get warped in. Now we do have INnoVation's drop skirting its way around the edge of the map, taking it from really a weird angle here. But this will be scouted by PartinG by his probe going in, and now we do have the medevac is going to go in and PartinG with a pretty good pull. First one's really going to get nothing done. The question is whether anything in the natural mineral line is going to get anything done. Meanwhile, the Dark Templar in the main base, well, they're getting a good amount of damage done. INnoVation doing a nice job dropping the Widow Mines where they are, well, where they have a chance. But now with the Dark Templar in the natural, getting a whole hell of a lot of damage done here. As sure there is a missile turret in the main base, but there's not a missile turret in the natural. And with the dearth of, okay, now's the missile turret in the natural going down. I don't think PartinG sees this though. Yeah, just out of vision. But he's doing a great job of just killing supply depots. And wow, that's still in scan range. That did not feel like that was still in scan range here, as the natural cannot be mined from here. And sure, there now are missile turrets, but even then, 11 workers. That is a pretty good deal here for our Terran player. As sure, there's another scan, but now he's going to be supply blocked. +1. Well, +1 wasn't going to be able. The eBay wasn't able to get killed, but that's fine. As Terran supply blocked for a bit, he took 11 workers worth of damage. PartinG now up 16 workers. And sure. Okay, actually, as I say that, let's look at this once again. Okay, this is not going to get really anything done here. It's going to get another worker. That's nice. That's going to go into the natural as well. And maybe this is the move here. Okay, PartinG not with a pull here whatsoever, and that's going to get 9 workers. And maybe that's the equalizer. I say maybe because now PartinG's still up 11 workers. And that just says instead of being disastrous, is just really bad for INnoVation here in this game. As 12 workers have gone down, 12 workers of PartinG as well. But the key difference is that was 12 workers going down over the course of about 2 minutes instead of 12 workers going down at once. And PartinG's got 3 bases. Meanwhile, PartinG's going to go in once again with these Dark Templar. Actually, that's 4 Dark Templar. That's a potential to do a lot of damage, even if there is a scan. As we do see the drop of INnoVation going out. Once again, now the Dark Templar are just going to be dropped on top of the Marines that the INnoVation is trying to drop to kill the War Prism. And the War Prism will go down. Actually, these Dark Templar, they are now stuck. They're going to be forced to run home, to flee, to say, you know what, we don't want any of this smoke here. We want to go away. And now INnoVation, with the drop once again, trying to see what he can take care of. Maybe put pressure on the third base. And I really wouldn't mind seeing PartinG really kill or mine more of these minerals out here. Make it easier for him to circulate the majority of his army. But we do have the first Colossus done. Actually, second Colossus done, I'm sorry. And Blink is just about done here as well. So really, this drop of INnoVation should get absolutely 0 done. Now, Blink being done, it's just going to get targeted down. It's going to die. But there is that Widow Mine, actually. That one Widow Mine is doing tremendous work keeping PartinG, or I should say keeping INnoVation here in this game, as 5 more workers do go down. And now the Colossus is going to be a couple Stalkers Colossus are going to be forced to sit there. And this one Widow Mine probably has 12, probably has what 14 probe kills to its name. But despite that, PartinG still the advantage, still the worker advantage, still the army advantage. And it doesn't really feel like INnoVation has what he's looking for to really get the damage done that he wants to get in this game. Number one, there's no third base on the way. No third base for the time being. It's only 3 barracks. And now we do see, sure, INnoVation's money out. He wants to take the third on the bottom side. Okay, now there's going to be a Widow Mine. That Widow Mine is going to get nothing done. He's going to get 1 kill. Actually, it looks like this. Okay, there was a Widow Mine drop in the bottom left. Upper right just still sitting there, but this time PartinG on top of things, and that Widow Mine was not going to get anything done the third time, because you know what they say: fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, well, that just doesn't feel good here. As INnoVation is going to be able to get rid of that proxy pylon, but now we do have PartinG on the assault once again, and it really doesn't feel like INnoVation has enough to hold here. PartinG on, well, he's up on army supply. And I will say the one thing is there's no reinforcements here. Not really. The Warp Prism is only just now being made. There's no warp in point here from the... No warp in here. Warp point here from that gateway. As now it looks like INnoVation's going to force a recall here from PartinG unknowingly. He didn't really see that the recall happened. But this is going to be a nice full-on SCV pull here from our Terran player. But with charge done, +1 is done. So he's... Well, okay, actually, sorry. +1 is done soon. And now we do have the pull commence with just enough Vikings to really get enough done here. And there's just not a lot of Stalkers, but the first set of force fields is going to be nice. And with the shield battery overcharge, well, it feels like it's just going to be hard for INnoVation to get anything done here. As the SCVs are going down, the buffer is going down here. And with the lack of Widow, there's only 1 Widow Mine. There's really not a whole lot to stop PartinG from blinking on top of things. And what I should say is there is an armory. There is no armory, so there's a capacity for these Widow Mines to go off. But now only 1 Widow Mine. And PartinG taking game number 5, taking the series, winning the show match. And there we go. I spent so much time trying to figure out who would win that I didn't talk about who did win. And PartinG taking this show match 5-2 says, you know what? I am too strong for you, INnoVation. I'm too strong for you today. It's what? It's 4 p.m. Korean time, I think. This match started at 3 p.m. KST. All right, so PartinG wins 5-2 here. We are going to. I'm going to get added into a call shortly, I believe, with Hutchinson and PartinG, and we're going to be able to talk to him just a little, ask his thoughts about, well, that Void Ray build, because he's been going for a lot. Whether what he feels, how he feels about it, what he feels the answer to that is, because we saw INnoVation held it once, but it didn't really feel like he held the build. He just got the probe, if that makes sense. It's not a, and that doesn't feel all that great. If the only way to hold that is you just prevent it from going down in the first place, because that does feel like something that there's some sort of evolution there. And then yeah, I'm curious to see how he feels about the status of this matchup in the mid to late game, as in every game we saw one player going for some sort of timing tap, for some sort of all in. I don't think INnoVation ever tried to take a third base, even the games he won. We saw, or the games he lost, for the most part, PartinG was going for some cheeky all in as well. So I'm interested to learn about that. Hello, I'm the English caster.
Hello, hi.
Congrats, PartinG.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so we got a couple questions for you, and that's gonna be a good time. I guess number one. So in, I think four of the 7 games you played, or 4 of the 7 games you played, you went for proxy Void Ray. And in 3 of those games, you smashed. 1 game INnoVation held because he got the probe. What do you feel about the status of that build at the moment? Is that just the kind of thing where if the Terran expands, it's almost impossible to hold, or what's the reasoning there? Is that just because of the Void Ray buff, or?
네, 안녕하세요. 오늘 7경기 중 4번을 전진 공업 빌드를 하셨는데요. 그 중에 3번을 이기고 이제 1번은 신형 막았어요. 근데 이제 공업가 그냥 가요? 아니면은 그런 빌드를 했을 때 테란이 뭐 멀티를 먹으면은 그냥 진 거라고 볼까요?
그냥 솔직히 뭐 그냥 제 생각에는 그냥 블리자드 밸런스 스타크래프트 그 밸런스 팀이 좀 예전부터 그냥 저는 생각을 쭉 해왔는데 좀 패치를 잘 못하는 것 같아요. 왜냐하면은 저는 이거 그냥 이렇게 패치될 거 보자마자 공업 뽑기가 그냥 이거 무조건 사기 될 거라고 알고 있었는데, 솔직히 제가 진 판도 그냥 제가 실수 안 했으면 이겼다고 생각을 하는데, 근데 그만큼 이제 토스가 실수 안 하면은 그 정도로 파괴력이 말도 안 되게 있으니까 여기 이런 거부터가 저는 밸런스가 안 맞는다고 생각을 하는데, 빠른 시일 내에 블리자드가 좀 패치 좀 해줬으면 좋겠네요.
So actually, I've been thinking that about the balance team from a while. Is that they're really not good when they do a new patch. And as soon as I saw the patch, I knew Void Rays broke P. And even that game that I lost, it's because I made a mistake. Otherwise, I would have won it. So I think that right now with this build, it's really explosive, and that it really needs a patch.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that was evidenced. Watching Creator kill Tasia as well. So, second question for you. You seem to be doing well with PvT in general. Do you think that's your best matchup, or what is your best matchup if that's not the case?
테란전을 잘하실 것 같은데 지금 제일 자신 있는 매치업이
저그전 제일 자신 있는 것 같아요. 저그전.
I'm most confident in my PvT actually.
In your PvZ, you said?
Yes.
Okay. And then, you are playing in the GSL rather soon. What is it? In about a week. And you got Beyond in your group. So, I guess, first of all, how do you rate your chances in the GSL this season? And how are you feeling against Beyond? And I guess a follow-up to that, do you have any predictions for the group that you're going to be in about a week? In about a week.
이제 지금 GSL을 시작해서 한 일주일 후 저 이제 원일락 선수가 GSL에서를 펼칠 텐데요. 특히 이번 그룹에는 변 선수도 있어요. 변 선수의 상대로 어떨 거라고 생각. 그냥 이제 전반적으로 이번 조 예상.
솔직히 못 올라갈 것 같고요.
아, 예.
왜냐면은 그러니까 장난이 아니라 지금 그 저랑 속해 있는 그룹 선수들이 이제 페이션스 선수나 이제 그 변 선수나 버니 선수가 있는데 다 칼을 갈고 있어가지고 저는 항상 무서워하는 선수들이 칼 갈고 있는 선수들인데 그러니까 이제 준비 열심히 하는 진짜 정말 이기고 싶어서 뭐 다 이기고 싶어 하지만 근데 그 특유의 그런 느낌이 있는데 오늘 그러니까 제 조의 선수들이 좀 그 느낌이 너무 강해가지고 뭔가 그냥 이번에는 느낌이 그러니까 올라가고 싶지만 당연히 올라가고 싶지만 그냥 뭔가 못 올라갈 것 같다는 느낌이 좀 강하게 드네요.
Well, so in my group, the Pyongyang, Asian, Bunny, and they're preparing really hardly right now. I mean, all the players want to win, of course, but these players are really eager to win, and it's going to be really hard for me to qualify on the next round. But it just feels like that I wanted.
You said it just feels like you want it. Sorry, you.
That he won.
Yeah, they didn't want
Hello,
it.
your mic is pretty buggy.
Yeah, you're the connection's not the best. You're breaking up a little as well. Which is unfortunate. And I guess so. One last question. I imagine it's just the Korean US East connection. One last question for you. It seemed in every single game of this series, one player was trying to end the game before it really got into the mid game. What do you feel about the status of this matchup in general, and specifically as it moves into the late game? Is there some massive racial bias in one way, or is it just about even?
In PvT?
In PvT, yes.
이제 오늘 테란전을 했을 때 사실 중반 게임 넘어가기도 전에 게임이 많이 끝났는데 지금 상태에서 이제 프로토스 테란전을 할 때 이제 중후반 게임 상태에 대해서 어떻게 생각하세요?
솔직히 그냥 뭔가 지금 테란전 밸런스 좀 약간 무너진 것 같긴 한데 전체적으로 그냥 솔직히 초중반 다 지금 토스가 좋은 것 같긴 해요. 솔직히 말하면. 그리고 특히 이제 후반 갈수록 토스도 안 나빠가지고 토스가 저는 굉장히 좋다고 생각해가지고 후반 갈수록 그래서 테란은 항상 좀 초반에 끝내거나 중반에 끝내려고 하는 것 같아요. 그래서 테란 선수들.
저 마지막 문자 한 번만 다시
뭐라고?
안 들렸어요.
그러니까 테란 선수들이 이제 그러니까 후반 가는 거 어려우니까 후반 가도 이기기 힘든 거 아니까 이제 초중반에 끝내려고 하는 것 같아요.
So I think the Terran, if they go late game, actually it gets even harder. So they try to win before, but right now the balance is really right because Protoss is at advantage at every state of the game.
All right, good to know. Thank you very much for the interview, Hutchinson. Thank you, PartinG. Congratulations for
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Have a great rest of your day. And I think this is going to do it for us.
수고하셨습니다.
수고하셨습니다.
All right, and with that, we are done. The hope was this was going to take a little bit longer than it did, but we got 5 games done in under an hour. And with that, the rest of it, we did have the Hutchinson interview. Now, with PartinG on there. Now, I'm going to take one last opportunity to plug our Matcherino to say, hey, you know what? If you weren't sure, hey, maybe I don't want to. I like one player more than the other. Well, we now know who won, which means that if you just really want to give PartinG all your money, there's definitely an opportunity for you to give PartinG all your money here. If you use the Matcherino code, if you go to the Matcherino tournament page, if you use the code, that's 50 cents for free. Otherwise, of course, you can donate your money. I believe you can buy the replay pack from this one for $10. That might just be for iTax. Let me take a look. Yes, you can buy the replay pack for $3. And if you're trying to learn how to hold the proxy void ray, maybe you don't want that replay pack. But if you're trying to learn how to execute it, that's the play there. But that's all we have for you. Unfortunately, the day was not quite as long as we would have hoped. But that's fine, because we saw some great games, we got a great interview, and that's about it. So, for myself and the rest of the Alpha X team, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching. I will be live again at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, so in about 3 hours from now, with the effective Code A, with I believe the Korean Hopefuls tournament, as it's called, the SA2 Korean Hopefuls, but that will be on our Trovo stream, trovo.live/alphaxsc2. So if you want more Korean StarCraft action, we'll be there, and that stream should that tournament should probably last about 4 hours. But anyways, other than that, it's been a wonderful set of games. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, night, whatever the case may be. And this is me signing off. Have a good one, everyone.